Welcome back to another Bit Legend video. We're going to try to do level 41. I'm going to talk about the updates and the updates that have been announced for next week. And I do have a bunch of rando Destiny gear that has been upgraded to plus 15, giving me 8,000 total stats, giving me a boost, and hopefully it'll help me in here. But I have run 6 attempts at this same level, and I've been cheesed every step of the way, so it's not working. Enemies get reflect. My team is actually somewhat okay at dealing with that because they're all healers and we're tanks. They get SP, they get absorbed, that's going to be tough. I'm losing block, and they deal less damage. They lose, like I said. All right, that's playable. Steel Bulwark, I don't know what he does. That's a renamed minion. Can't sneak past him on a straightaway. That is a renamed minion because they had a couple weeks of renaming all the minions multiple times, and now I don't know what anything is called. But that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is I want to talk about the updates that have been announced. While we try to get through here, but I gotta say I'm a little bit frustrated just because towers doing tower things and tank PvE is very difficult. But anyways, let's do the thing. Let's talk about the updates, because I'm probably the biggest supporter of the game, but at the same time I'm the biggest critic of the game, and I feel like that's probably a pretty good spot to be for me. But anywho, when they do good things or when they announce good things, I want to also spread that out there as well, because it's kind of messed up time with the problems if they're starting to bring solutions, and I don't highlight that as well, so I want to get this video out pretty quick. But anywho, today they have announced a couple things. We'll run through it all, we'll give some commentary, and you guys will probably see me get blown up in tower, but hey, that's what you expected. So, first things first, the equipment rack function will be added, and that allows players to save gear builds and swap gear around. That's a massive quality of life. I'm very thankful for that. So let's put some shielding on. Very thankful for that. And it was supposed to be for last week, but it didn't get done, and that is totally fine. I would much rather wait for content to be finished than for stuff to be rushed and to be buggy and problematic. I'd much rather wait for bug testing, for play testing, for all those things. So I got no problem waiting for equipment rack, but it'll probably be amazing when it comes out, and it will probably be an essential feature that a month down the road we'll wonder how we ever played the game without it. So big thumbs up, equipment rack, love to see it. And if something's messed up and it needs to take another week, I got no problem with that as well. As long as it's on the way, I'm super happy about it. Moving on, number 2. Radiation Zone Store will show more currency. So there's a little issue on this. They figured it out pretty quick, as players told them. But the Raid Store did not show the the Raid 9 medals. It will now show them, so don't worry about that. It'll happen. You can see your stuff. No big deal there. Number 3, refinement stones will be added to black market. So that's actually really good. The first time we saw refinement stones, they were attached to gem purchases. If you bought a ton of gems, you got an extra stone or 2 or whatever. I was very hopeful that we'd see that added in the game in other ways, and so black market probably makes some sense. Very curious on how much those stones will cost, though. Will it be a reasonable cost? Will it be a crazy cost? I don't know. I do not know. So we shall see. But keep in mind, the refinement stones, they don't guarantee success on refinement. They guarantee that you don't drop a level unless that has changed. So, yeah, take it. Number 4, the increase in the maximum equipment level of transcendent items from 4 to 8. So what does that mean? That means that you can refine Thunder Fury and Ancient Heroes Woe, the axe. You can refine them 8 times. We don't know the cost. It hasn't been, well, you guys don't know the cost. The cost has not been announced, so we don't know that one. And we don't know how much total stats. I'm told that when the transcendent items are fully upgraded, they will have more total stats than the highest Destiny. I have been told that. So take that one to the bank. When the transcendent items are fully upgraded, and again, we don't know the cost of the upgrades, they will be higher than any Destiny items. That puts transcendent items back on the map. So if you have an item and you're like, what happened? I just made this. What's the deal? Hey, it's back on the map. It's a good item. The one downside, though, is when you do all these tower levels, every single level gives you a weapon. At least every single level up to like 52 from what we've seen from other players will give you a weapon as a reward, which you think, oh, that's cool. if you have a transcendent weapon that is supposedly best in slot, that the Destiny items that you get is essentially a nugget. You can't use it because you already have a weapon. I'm surprised they did that. I don't know why they did that, and it would make sense to me if they would diversify it. So like one level gives you a helmet, one level gives you a body, one level gives you an offhand, one level, et cetera, et cetera. But they chose not to do that. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe that was intentional. But moving on. Yeah, you can upgrade +8. We don't know the cost, so I'll post the cost when all that stuff is out there, but heads up for the cost. That's all I'm saying. Because it all depends on how it's implemented. So making the weapon stronger makes sense. Transcendent weapons should be the best weapons in the game. They're most expensive, but it depends on how much of the cost. And yeah, when it's live, I'll post the stuff. We'll talk about it. But it gives you a little bit more confidence in that. Number 5, combat speed has been increased when the combat animations are turned off. So it sounds like a very small step in the right direction. Maybe it's massive and I just don't know. But one of the biggest problems in the game right now that makes it questionable as far as the playability of the game is, let me just do a little more autopilot, is the combat speed is so freakishly slow. Like, you guys saw me manual there for a while. How long did I have to wait before I could use a turn? And then how long is this battle? This is one battle. We might be here for more than 5 minutes. It's on one single battle. A lot of that has combat speed. Now, it's not just the speed of the animations, which is it's part of it, but it's not just that. It's also the fact that if you have a skill that targets 5 players, whether it's heal team or attack team or whatever, you're essentially doing 5 attacks. You're hitting player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5, instead of hitting everybody at once. Which means that single animation takes 5 times longer than a regular animation. And if you have a pet proc that hits everybody or that heals everybody, same thing. It's the single-handed reason why a lot of players, if they could avoid it, stopped using the Sanctification Kung Fu talent that gave everybody healing. It literally made your raids take twice as long. It was that bad. So this doesn't sound like a fix to that. It could be, and if it is, I'll definitely share some feelings about that. But it's a step in the right direction. I'll say that. We do need more. We need combat to be faster. We need faster combat speeds. We need better animations, and by better, I simply mean just more efficient animations. You shouldn't attack 10 times when you could just hit everybody at the same time. But it's a step in the right direction, and it's probably the quickest thing they could have done. Since I've been very vocal about this, a lot of players have been very vocal about this. They're like, okay, what can we do that we can get out now, and then maybe we'll work on stuff in the future is what I'm hoping. But hey, there we go. Guild Boss will now give you gold. So for every Guild Boss attack that you use, you're getting 50,000 gold. I'm going to assume the amount of gold can get boosted by gold boost, because that would kind of make sense. So this is really good. I've been really pushing for this, and I was very hopeful that I just want players to be rewarded for the time they invest. And a lot of players are not getting Guild Boss gear, and that might be because maybe they're lower priority in their guild. Their guild wants to give stronger people gear so they can kill more guild bosses, so everybody will get more gear chances in the future. I totally get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe they might be wondering, well, I'm not going to get guild boss gear for a very long time. Why should I bother using my attacks? Or I don't know how people think, but maybe that's the thing. Now you're going to be rewarded for your time. Or what if you have that really strong person in your guild that got all their guild boss, or they got all their raid 8 stuff, and they don't need or they don't want any guild boss gear. Or maybe they're doing all Destiny gear, and they say, I'm going to do Destiny. I don't need guild boss gear. Do whatever you want. How do you get those players interested in attacking and using all their attacks and helping their guild, other than just hoping they're a super nice guildie? Give them a reward. And so 50,000 gold, if we still have the 21 attacks per week, that's over 1 million gold per week without any bonus attached to it, so it can probably be a little bit higher. I think that will reward people nicely, and everybody needs gold now because we're all trying to refine stuff. So, step in the right direction. I'll give them a little pat on the back for that one. And I mean, of course I would. I've been begging for that change for a while. I really thought about smaller guilds when I was really pushing for that one, because in Unity we're very coordinated. We have a lot of self-motivated players. Yeah, obviously they're gonna do their attacks, but I'm thinking about sub guilds. I'm thinking about other guilds, smaller guilds, starting guilds. I imagine that it's not that easy for everybody else around the way. But anywho, so we're getting some gold. That's awesome. Let's see how that goes. And number 7, reduce the number of turns required for guild bosses to enrage. So the way guild boss works now is when the boss has executed 25 attacks, the boss will turn invulnerable and he will start to just do a lot more damage, and he basically hits enrage mode. 25 attacks. They're going to bring that down to 15 attacks, so the fight will be shorter. This is also, it's not necessarily a band-aid fix, it kind of is, because the ultimate problem here is that combat takes so long. So how do you fix that? You either make combat faster or you cut the length of the attack. And so here they've decided to cut the length of the guild boss attack. But I still think this is a good thing. The reason I don't think it's a band-aid fix is because even if combat was faster, I still think bringing the length of the guild boss battle down is actually a good thing for the game health in general. So that's why I'm not going to call this one a band-aid fix. Now you might say, well, there's a shorter, the fight is shorter, but how am I going to do all the damage I need to do? They're reducing the hit points of the guild boss by 40%. So I think it's pretty fair. You'll lose around 40% of your attacks. You're going to lose, the boss is already going to lose around 40% of the hit points. It's going to make some sense. The pros and cons of that is faster battle, because, regen takes like 3 hours every day now. So faster battle, that's a really good thing. But the downside is if you get blocked, dodged, reflected, absorbed, whatever, you miss your attack for whatever reason, it's going to hurt a lot more. So that's one of the downsides of it. Guild Boss 4 has a ton of defense, so you're really going to feel it there. Guild Boss 5 as well has a ton of defense, so that's the downside of it. We shall see. It is possible they might be reducing the number of attacks per week in the future. Maybe that'll happen, maybe not. It was something that I was discussing, so we'll see. But I think they've made the right choice of, let's do one change, make it shorter, and then let's see how that goes, and let's see if we need to reduce the number of guild boss attacks. So making the fight shorter will happen. The number of guild boss attacks is not announced in this update, so I would assume nothing's going to happen there. But you never know. They're looking at this kind of situation. Now, guildies are getting rewarded for their time spent. They're spending less time to achieve the same goal. Should be pretty good. The last thing I'll say about it is it makes bounty hunters a whole lot stronger, and it makes everybody else a little bit weaker, because bounty hunters have that massive full launch attack. So since bounty hunters are better at full front loading damage, they will benefit. It's not massive. If you're an engineer or something, it doesn't mean oh my god, I need to reroll. However, since bounty hunter can do full launch for every different attack it does, bounty hunter is hands down the strongest DPS build for tower. So for that reason, I actually would push almost everybody into bounty hunter. In fact, I'm going to talk to my guildies. A lot of guildies want to do random like different builds just to be different. I got no problem with that. But I will tell everybody, I had a couple NGs doing the SA debuff or the SA buff for Guild Boss 5 reasons. I'm going to tell everybody when I finish this video that if they want to go bounty hunter for tower and stay that way, no problems with it. Because I'd rather them be happy, get their gear, push better in towers, than feel like they're stuck in NG. And I suggest that to any other guild leaders out there. Do the same thing. For what it's worth, I never push anybody into NG, except for the tanks. I just say, hey, all the tanks, I'm going NG. I really suggest you guys do it too. And everyone's like, yep, we're on board. There was no pushback or anything. So I was very lucky there. Got very motivated people, so that kind of solves all of my problems before I have them. Can I sneak past this guy and get to that shrine? And the sound helps, fellas. Don't judge me. Steel bulwark. Is this guy the metal dude with all the spikes on him? Because that is a minion I don't want to fight. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Is that him? See these two little guys with the spikes? Basically, a bigger version of him is what I think the enemy is, and it's what I actually don't want. We ran right into him. He's in a crossroads, so if I had to run into any minion, I'd prefer him. It's going to open up a little bit more paths for me. I think the beetles have attack random, so that's going to be horrible. But maybe they hit hard enough to actually do something for me. So we'll see. God, that was a big hit. That was a big hit. God, that was a big hit, man. What am I doing? Heal team. Let's heal weakest 3. And the last and probably the most important update of all of them, and it was added recently, is Raid 9 set, not Raid 8, Raid 9 set, Guild Boss sets and Guild Boss 5 mythics will be able to be upgraded. Not just +4, you can +6 these things. So typically for items, you can upgrade them +4. For Raid 9 set, Guild Boss sets, Guild Boss 5 mythics, you will be able to +6. I don't know if the cost is going to be the same cost that it was to do +1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know that. I think that the total stats gain per level is going to be the same. So if you upgrade a Guild Boss set, it will give you 100 to 109 per level. And since this is 2 levels, that'll give you 200 to 220-ish, 218 if you want to be specific. So you're getting 200 total stats jump on every piece if you upgrade your Guild Boss set pieces. So what does this mean? It means a couple things. Number one, it means if you already have these items, they are going to be a stronger stepping stone for you to get into tower. However, if you've already been going into the tower and you're like, what? They're upgrading the old stuff. I've been farming tower. And like for me, I showed you guys at the beginning of the video that I've +15 some Destiny drops. Should I be freaking out? And the answer is no, because Destiny at like tower level 40 is still going to have higher total stats than the Guild Boss gear. Yup. Yes, it is. And if you get to 50 and so on and so forth, Destiny is still going to massively surpass the Guild Boss stuff. Maybe when the new Guild Bosses come out, that'll be another conversation, but we'll talk about that when it happens. So if you already have the Guild Boss gear, your stuff just got better. You're in a better spot, although Destiny will over time beat you until new Guild Bosses come out. If you have been already upgrading Destiny gear, you're still ahead of the curve. And you're still most likely, if you've been doing, again, if the base stats of your Destiny gear is 450 or above, this stuff should still be higher. Your Destiny should still be higher. So like I said, you are just ahead of the curve. So no reason to freak out there. But the other thing is +6 is absolutely a Band-Aid fix to a bigger problem, to a system problem. And my concern is, and obviously, we'll know more stuff in the future, but my concern is if we're having +6 on gear now, like on the Transcendent weapons, they're special to different, +8 is okay. But +6 on these other items, is this going to mess up balance in the future when like Raid 10 comes out? Are all items in the future going to have to be +6? Are they going to have to do some sort of massive buff to gear in the future to even it out so we can go back to +4? A lot of questions there. We'll see. I'm not, the sky's not falling just yet. Although I definitely just stubbed my toe on a chair, but that's fine. But that's the concerns there. Is it going to mess up something in the future because it's a Band-Aid? I guarantee the reason why this is done, like I guarantee it, is because they realized that the total stats on Destiny gear is absolutely too high and it makes the current gear worthless, which I've talked about at length. So how do they fix it? Because you might say, okay, well, it's just easy, nerf the Destiny gear. Well, hold on. If you nerf the Destiny gear, you are basically kicking people in the face that said, I want to be the first one to do it. I want to be the first one in the tower. I want to be the first one in Destiny gear. You'd be kicking all those people in the face because they put a lot of time and effort in this thing. The people that got to tower level 50, that wasn't easy for anybody. So nerfing the gear that they got would be Really bad way to reward those players. Those are some of your most passionate players, most effort-driven players. So that's not what you want to do. You don't want to do that to them. And what skill do I want to do? I'll just do shielding. So yeah, that's definitely not how you want to reward your most avid fan base. But people that had Guild Boss gear might be freaking out and saying, dude, I just got my Guild Boss pieces, or I'm not even done getting my Guild Boss pieces, and now all this stuff is whatever. And they'd be absolutely correct. So it's a Band-Aid fix to a bigger issue. I think this does possibly the least amount of damage at the moment, and I just hope it doesn't do damage in the future. But we'll see how it goes. Still, to be honest, I'm still a little frustrated. I definitely, I gave feedback that would have avoided all this stuff. But let's talk about the bright side, though. The bright side is I'm actually very, very optimistic and excited about random bonus gear. This is something I've been looking forward to for a while. The random bonus gear. That way, everybody's build is unique. You have a different build from me, even if we're both tanks. You still have unique stuff. Yeah, we both want tanky things, but the RNG of your gear, you're going to get this stuff, I'm going to get that stuff. It's going to be unique, it's going to be fun. And as long as the drop rate is high enough that you're seeing it often enough that you actually have chances to roll good bonuses. And you don't need, you can roll 4 to 8 bonuses. You don't need 8 good bonuses to make Destiny amazing. If you get 2 or even 3 good rolls on anything, it's actually quite nice. So at least from where we are, maybe in the future that'll be a thing. Replacing good Destiny gear will be quite difficult, but I like the idea. I had some arguments with how it was done, but we're seeing fixes. These devs have a really good history of fixing stuff quickly, jumping on stuff, being active. I'm very appreciative. And also, I'd rather have devs that are trying new things, trying creative things, pushing the limits. I do think that is in general going, yeah, it is this guy. He has some really strong single target damage that might completely just smash me. What are these debuffs again? And they've got Reflect. Reflect doesn't bother me. My team doesn't do any attack damage, so it doesn't matter. So, I'm optimistic. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They've been fixing stuff. Ooh, the boss almost one-shot itself. Did ya see it, fellas? What you guys are not seeing is I did 6 or 7 attacks before this, and the first 4 maps were completely unplayable for various reasons. And do I want a shield team? I think I do, because I think I have a lot of damage. They were unplayable for various reasons, and it was so long, videos and the battles are so long that I just had to cut it. Wow. I meant to do attack target. I did the wrong thing. Oh, the boss Reflect killed himself. Oh my goodness, after having such a horrible time. Again, all those levels that I did were on the same level. This is my only progress for the day. I tried other minion teams, tried everything. This is so bad. So to actually see Reflect pay off is pretty good. You guys, keep in mind, you guys are seeing the Instagram highlight. You're not seeing the reality of life. Someone's gonna be like, oh, it's broken, Reflect's broken. Bruh. This rift was a needle in a haystack, brother. My goal was to get 2 levels, hopefully get some Reflect cheese on one level, and then get some Reflect cheese on the next level. But man, God. I should focus up. Battle's not over. But oh man, it's been rough. It's been a rough week. But anyways, so if you got Guild Boss gear, you're getting a boost that hopefully will help you spur yourself on the way to doing some tower stuff. And if you already upgraded your tower, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Yeah. Your tower gear is still going to be better anyways. So, very interesting. But again, I'd rather have devs that are trying things, that are doing cool stuff, than devs that let things get boring and stale and whatever. I mean, we've all seen games where the only update is to the shop every week. I mean, that's garbage. But the one thing is, all of this is fine if the devs are learning from the past. That's all it takes. If they're learning from the past, everything is fine. And what I mean by that is, let's look back at raids. So raid 6 was, for a period of time, the end game. And raid 6 is good. Raid 6 is fine, has good gear, got improved over time. I think that was a reflect kill. Do I want to potion him? I do want to kill all the trash here because there's a chance of dropping a weapon. And I do have a buff running, so hopefully item find helps. Nope, no, or not weapon, destiny item. But raid 6, it was good, and it got improved over time. But my point with raid 6 is that let's put a potion on this boy. Come on, Zeus. Arise, my champion. Yeah, raid 6 was great. And then raid 7 and 8 were in the game, but they were not finalized. And the devs go, boom, here's 7 and 8. And the problem with that was 7 had no time to shine. I don't even remember anything about raid 7. I think I did it like once or twice for a video, and then I had to go back there to use a legendary catcher to get a minion. But other than catching a couple minions, there was never any reason to do raid 7 unless you just couldn't do raid 8. There was no reason inherent to raid 7 to do raid 7 other than like a minion. And raid 8 was released at the same time and revamped and made ready pretty much at the same time or a week later. So everybody that was capable would just jump into raid 8. So they smothered raid 7 and it never had time to shine. And that's a waste for them. They could have had players could have spent a lot of time there. That could have been a thing that could have lasted for a while. I talk about tiers in terms of raids. Raid 7 was a non-factor. Raid 7 didn't matter. They could actually delete Raid 7 from the game right now, and other than like 1 or 2 fusions, nobody would know. Nobody would know. They smothered that content because stuff came out too fast. It didn't have time to breathe. Raid 8 came out. And okay, Raid 8's cool. Raid 8's cool. It's got some best-in-slot items. All right, we're doing Raid 8. It's good. People were doing it. People had it on farm. Like I said, best-in-slot items. The total stats were increased. Okay, yeah. Raid 8, good job. What is it? Sword God was there. She was the talk of the town. Raid 8, good example. And we had guild boss stuff come out, and that's a really strong part of the game. Probably the strongest thing that the game has going for it is the guild boss action right now. Awesome. And what was really good is the Raid 8 and the guild boss gear, same level, so you can choose what you want. You have some variety. Good stuff. And then Raid 9 comes out super quick. Okay, what's the problem there? Raid 9 came out so quick that it also got smothered. All these different levels, they kind of smothered each other. And one of the things that made it less noticeable is that after talking with players and just talking with the community and whatnot, they decided not to make the total stats increased on Raid 9. And the reason why everybody that were in these conversations said don't do it is because if you have higher total stats in Raid 9, that means it's higher than Raid 8 and it's higher than Guild Boss. And that means that Guild Boss items become obsolete. And that would be a massive problem. Does this sound familiar at all? It would be a massive problem if Guild Boss items became obsolete so quick. Why would that be a problem? Well, first off, people just got their items and they're still getting their items. So if you put out better items than the stuff I'm working on right now, what the hell do I do? Do I just completely stop and fold and say, all right, we'll skip this? Would guilds stop focusing on Guild Boss because it's not best in slot anyways? All those potential problems, people freak out. Plus, there's a reason why car companies release one car per year, or one version of each car per year. If I just bought the new Tesla whatever in January and they come out with a complete new version of the same thing in March, like what? To compare that to what we're seeing, that would be like them coming out with a version in February, then coming out with a version in March right after, so like a 1 month turnaround. You'd be like, bro, let me at least have the top thing that I spent a lot of effort to get for a period of time. Let it breathe. Let me enjoy it, I accept the fact that a new model will come out next year. But a month later? Like, what? What are you doing? Doesn't make any sense. So we advise them not to increase the total stats of the Raid 9 gear. And they said, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. So it was good. It didn't mess up the meta. It didn't mess up the gear meta. It didn't mess up Guild Boss or anything like that. It was actually good. And the items were side grades. So if you want to do something different, or that's just the drops you got, you could roll with it. And that was kind of cool. But the whole reason all that happened is because the raid came out so soon that adding a new tier of total stats gear would mess everything up. So that's why we advise that. If they just waited like a couple months, maybe 2 months, and then released the raid, hey, we got something. Is it a weapon? Please don't be a weapon. Sub weapon. I'll upgrade. Oh, maybe I won't upgrade that. I don't have any. After doing all these refinings, I actually don't have any lost cores, but I got to do 1 billion raids, probably all day and all tomorrow. So I'll be upgrading that, and I'll at least add up the total stats on the base item itself. So pretty good. Not worth getting excited just yet, but that would be a pretty big total stats boost to get another piece. Let's get some leech on him. I want to get a heal on him. But anyways, that's why we advise that, and the whole reason that we did it is because the raid came out too soon. Content didn't have any time to breathe. Raid 8 was still relatively new, maybe less than a month. Guild Boss 5, people were only clearing that for like a month. No, people at this time, I don't even know if they were clear. I don't even know if we were clearing Guild Boss 5 at the time. And if they're coming out with new gear that's higher than Guild Boss 5 total stats, like what the heck's going on? It's a big old mess. And then Destiny proved why we made such a big deal. It wasn't really a bad argument, but we made the advice of not increasing Raid 9 total stats, because all this stuff that's happening now would happen. And now we have new total stats gear, and all the things we talked about are happening. And the problem isn't Destiny coming out, it's that it came out so soon. Like I've said 1 billion times, guilds are still not finished getting Guild Boss gear. You know? It's like, hey, I got my Slayer weapon. Okay, awesome. I'm going to do some towers. Okay, I did tower 30. Oh, look at this weapon. All right, let's replace the Slayer weapon. It's like, bro, you've had the Slayer weapon for a day. You know? Let content breathe. I love getting new stuff, but let content breathe. Let people enjoy the content instead of being like, new stuff's coming. I just upgraded this. I'm out of materials. What do I do? Like, that's stressful. Doesn't make any sense. So hopefully this is the last pack of trash. We wrap up this map. After a very difficult night of doing these towers, it's nice to see. We kill the boss. We get a drop. Feels kind of good. It's also a item slot that we need. So if we get a back piece, I'll have Thunder Fury, and then I'll have all these slots of these items. I really wish I could upgrade this guy right now to show you guys what the boasts are. Hopefully I'll be smart and I will save it for a video where I can show you the upgrading thing. Upgrading cost not too bad. It's 30 lost cores and I think like 30,000 gold per upgrade. And then refining is pretty much what you'd expect if you've done any other refining. Man, I got exploded there. I'm a little bit in shock at the moment. I will potion because there is a chance if I kill some trash, I might actually get another drop. You never know, man. We got some item find bonuses going on. I hope item find affects this. I'm assuming that it does, but I really don't know. Healed everybody but the guy I wanted to get healed. That feels good. But again, it's frustrating because these... I have 3 healers on my team. 3 competent healing minions. Literally the best healers in the game. I can't think of any healers that are better than the guys I have right now. And they don't cast their heals on me. Very rarely do I die just exploding. It's usually, okay, hopefully next turn I'll get a heal. Okay, hopefully next turn I'll get a heal. Okay, all right, I didn't get any heals. Feels bad. But anyways, all right, back to autopilot. But anyways, you get my rants. Let content breathe. I know you have a billion ideas. This happens for a lot of games, especially with talented game devs and all that. They have so many great ideas, and they actually have a team that is competent and able to actually pull off the ideas. That is amazing when that happens. However, you got to pace yourself. You're going to burn out your community. You got to pace yourself, fellas. And so hopefully that'll happen. We'll continue to give our input and advice, but I'm still a little frustrated because I literally talked about all these issues that were possible, and when they happen, it's like, I don't like to be the "I told you so" guy. Like, what is that? That's negative, anyways. But hopefully we learn from some of these mistakes. It was an issue with RAID 7. It was kind of an issue with RAID 9. And I think what happened is like, oh, RAID 9's ready, man. We're so excited. Let's just do it. I'm telling you, space it out, man. 4-month tiers, very clear tiers. Every 4 months, a new raid, possibly new campaign, whatever. They could kill campaign for all I care. But a new raid, a new world boss or bounty boss, whatever they call it, new guild bosses, new tier upgrades as far as the total stats on gear. Every 4 months. That's amazing. 4 months. That's time to get the gear, time to enjoy the gear, and then time to get ready for the next content. Super stable. They can have special events if they want. There's a lot of options. But let's go back on autopilot. You guys get my rant. You're picking up what I'm putting down. But anywho, so we'll wrap up this map. We'll get out of here. I will add up the total stats on that item, show you what it is. I think it's going to be 480. I think it's 480. Please be the last pack of trash in here. But it took me... Don't be fooled and be like, oh, wow, Reflect is awesome. I literally had 6 maps where I got brick-walled. First couple maps, they all gave me... Let's add up the total stats, too. The first maps, I had like 3 maps in a row that all gave me like minus 15 Reflect, which completely kills my build, and also gave me heal 10% per turn. When the enemies have so much stats that they are having a bunch of turns more than you. Yep, 480 on the dot. I think it goes up by 5 every level. So this thing is 480. I think the other thing should be 480. I'm actually probably going to kill this because Thunder Fury is supposedly getting upgraded, so I'm going to give that a shot and see if that works out. Well, I wonder how the increased upgrades is going to work with my refining. Am I going to get more refining out of things? I don't know. And, ooh. No, I think I already had that chest. Yeah, it's locked. Of course I already had it. Hound. Let's look at this. I think it's also going to be 480, but 88 plus 88 plus... Yep, 480. This is 480. Well, can I upgrade it at all? Show you the cost there. I'll do 1 upgrade. Please give me Reflect. Give me Reflect and hit point percentage. That'll make my day. But I'm going to go get some more Lost Course, and we're going to upgrade this thing all the way and do some stuff. Block and radiation damage. I'll take it. Radiation damage is the Ricky Pat. Block is anything defensive. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. How much of it? Yeah. What's messed up though is when I +4 this thing, it's going to be more total stats than my Defender's Barrier. Feels bad. Defender's Barrier has the only defensive bonus that I like from the Defender's that's got that 3% Reflect, which is super nice. But since I have the 2-piece bonus, I'm actually getting some hit points. So it'll be a little bit rough to replace these two. If I get a back piece, then I upgrade it all the way, then the total stats will be completely, hey, why are you not locked? Did I unlock that? Will be a complete increase for me. So anyways, boys, you heard me ramble. Updates are in. Check them out in the Discord. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.